Gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have an impressive lineup of speakers on our side. I'd like to start by yielding 5 minutes to the gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Pence, the author of the bill, Republican Conference Chair, and an esteemed member of our Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Gentleman from Indiana is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank the gentlelady for yielding, and I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection.
I rise with a great sense of humility and a great sense of moment before this body, but a great sense of gratitude to the ranking member for her extraordinary leadership in bringing this resolution to the floor, a resolution which, as the chairman of the committee just stated quite eloquently, will give the American people, through their elected representatives, clear opportunity on this day, after a week of violence and tumult in the nation of Iran, the opportunity to express the American people's support for all Iranian citizens who embrace the values of freedom, human rights, civil liberties, and the rule of law. I am especially grateful for the leadership and the spirit brought to this legislation by Chairman Howard Berman, with whom I don't agree on very much, but I am grateful that he demonstrates today public-mindedness that I think is in keeping with the best traditions of this institution. Ronald Reagan would say in 1964, quote, "You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right." Well, I'd like to suggest there's no such thing as left or right. There's only an up or down. Up to man's age-old dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. The leadership of Chairman Howard Berman today demonstrates that on the issue of speaking a word of encouragement to those who would stand with extraordinary valor for their own liberty, there is no left or right in this body. It has been, as been stated before, an extraordinary week in the life of the nation of Iran. On 12 June, just 1 week ago, from the very moment that the presidential election results were announced, the international community and the international press called the results into question. Chief among the reasons for that was that even before the extraordinary demonstrations had begun, was that millions of ballots, paper ballots, had apparently been tallied and counted within a matter of hours. The official government results of the election were met with public consternation among the people of Iran. And while the defeated candidate launched a legal appeal, as the Western media has reported, what has ensued on the streets of Tehran have been the biggest demonstration in the Islamic Republic's 30-year history. And most sadly, following that election day, the actions by the government and militias that support the government have turned to violence. Pro-government forces have attacked demonstrators over the past week, causing fatalities, resulting in the arrest of dissidents. We have heard of foreign reporters prevented from making their way into the public. We've heard of the jamming of electronic communications. We are, for all the world, we may well be witnessing a Tiananmen in Tehran. And it seems to me that in this moment, the people of the United States of America long to be heard. And by dint of House Resolution 560 today, through their elected representatives, the American people will have just that opportunity. This resolution simply states that it is resolved, the House of Representatives expresses its support for all Iranian citizens who embrace the values of freedom, human rights, civil liberties, and the rule of law. It also condemns the ongoing violence against demonstrators by the government of Iran and pro-government militias, as well as the ongoing government suppression of independent electronic communication through interference with the Internet and cell phones. And lastly, it affirms the universality of individual rights and the importance of democratic and fair elections. I have said many times this week, and it has been echoed by my colleagues like the Republican whip, Eric Cantor, that the cause of America is freedom. And in this cause, the American people will not be silent. There is no intention here to pick sides in the Iranian election. There is an intention here, in a true spirit of bipartisanship, to allow the American people to be on the side of liberty, to be on the side of freedom. I urge my colleagues to join us in supporting this legislation, because the voice of the American people has before, and I believe in my heart of hearts will again, make a difference in the advancement of human liberty in the world. I urge its support and